G'day, mate, and welcome to Friday Facts. What is it, 267 with me, GD, and we've got Mojo here, of course.
Yeah. That is the one, 267.
Yeah, I'm on holiday, so I'm a little bit scatterbrained. It's fine. We're doing experiments, explosives, and extended tags. It's sort of like we just threw three things that started with E together in and made a Factorio Friday Facts. An F equals an E. Sure, there's a joke in there somewhere.
Fee?
Yeah, something like that. So we got Covarex with any info experiments, which is this thing on the right hand side of the screen that you only look at it when you actually want to know what it says. Is that the best way to describe it? Thing that we know and we
love, and usually we only look at it for power.
Do you even look at it for power? I think you just notice that your mouse hovers over a power pole and it's not green; it just happens to be yellow for a change.
That's pretty much what I mean, is that you just happen to be hovering over it and it's yellow. Which is funny, actually, because for most of 13 and 14, that was broken until I pointed it out.
Oh, really?
15 too, yeah.
I don't ever remember running out of power on 14. I don't think the game was optimized enough where I could build a base big enough for a reason to build a base big enough to have a power issue.
We're trying hard enough.
Sure.
Yeah, it's this side. That's the sidebar that we know and we love, and it's full of
mostly useless facts.
Crap that we don't really, for the most part. Then again, like the crafting speed and products finished for showing off.
Yeah, products finished is definitely a show off number, and I don't know. I think the rest of the numbers really are like in the Zuri territory again, like, you know, which is the most efficient when it comes to pollution and that sort of stuff.
Pretty
much. Yeah.
I say pollution. You're trying.
They're important when you actually have to look them up and you actually need them for a reason. Otherwise, yeah, no, don't care. So yeah, Covarex got these, and he decided that they were mostly wasted over there. Alright, so he wanted to look at a way of bringing it towards the middle of the screen so you'd actually see it more often. And he came up with three choices. It appears at the cursor, which has the disadvantage it's always in the way. It always appears, but has some sort of delay. And it only appears when a hotkey is pressed. We test it with shift. It has disadvantage. You actually have to do something to see it. And then him... Who are the other two? Does it actually say?
Twinson and V453, which is Factorio.
Yep, tested. So the three of them tested it, and the catch was everybody picked the method they thought they'd like the most, and then came back with the results of, yeah, my one's the best because that was the one I tested, which a scientific test does not make.
Not really, no.
And then I think the end result was... The end result was... Like, this has to be a Factorio first, isn't it?
I don't know.
Like,
how many times have they chase squirrels when trying to figure out what's best?
But they've always decided on this is the way is the best and this is the only option. I can't think of any time where there's actually like a couple of different options. They're all new in 17, right? Where we have an option to turn something on or turn something off, or, you know. So the current option is they're going to leave it as it is on the right hand side. Plus they're going to set a custom delay for it, so we can put a mouse over it and it'll either pop up on the right hand side or pop up next to the cursor after a delay. Or they'll pop up either the right-hand side or next to the cursor instantly if you hover over something and press a key on the keyboard.
Do you know what I'd like is the right-hand sidebar to go over the top of the bottom toolbar where the equipment goes instead of underneath, because there's so much garbage information on a train, you can never see the content.
Yes.
That's what I'd like.
On a train,
that's
in
me,
a logistics network.
That too, logistics network. See, that's my option 4, is to do that.
Well, it means that you could walk right to the bottom of the map and put your mouse right at the top over the Roboport and hold left shift number 3 for argument's sake, and you'd have the whole screen's worth, which would be fine as long as you're not playing Bob's Mods, at which point you still only see a third of your network.
Yes. Admittedly, though, for those that don't know, back in 14 or 15? Up until?
14, definitely. 15, I think 15 still had the resistances written in there. That's what
I think
you're
so,
getting
yeah. Because there used to be an absurd amount of information presented.
Yeah, there was hang on. Physical resistance. It was the 7 resistances we went over last week.
Yeah, it was the 7 resistances, and then there was a whole lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
I like how we've gone on one hell of a tangent on just this one window.
Yeah, this is what we do. It's what you guys love.
It's what we do best.
It's what you're here for. And then we've got Cliff Explosive with Construction Robots, which, just for the record, is a mod currently.
Yes.
It is a mod that actually I have done, because I'm actually away on holidays. This is why the sound's not perfect, and Mojo was breaking up earlier, which is I'm running everything off my mobile. Yep, it's we're doing what we can here. But I've actually done a mod highlight on this very mod, which comes out in 2 days.
I'd say that most of the Factorio community is celebrating right now that they can actually automate
getting rid of cliffs, because there's nothing worse than going out and doing solar fields, which is the most boring thing ever, and finding out it's full of cliffs, and then you physically have to run around manually and blow them up.
Yes, and they only stack in 20, mind you.
Look, every single time I've actually seen a player who hasn't gone and installed this very mod to make bots carry cliff explosives and blow it up, they've stamped down their solar, and then they've literally deconstructed anything that doesn't get power. They're just like, oh, that doesn't have power, we'll just remove it. And they just got big cliffs and gaps through their solar field. It's just like, it's not worth the hassle, which I completely agree with. But does that make a future prediction?
What's that?
That in the future Friday Facts, we're going to have bots that carry landfill?
Maybe. I have a feeling that's not going to happen, though, somehow.
Well, technically they're an entity, same as anything else, so...
Tile.
Well, tile is an entity.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I know concrete is different to the terrain underneath it. But yeah, everyone's going to be happy and celebrating now. I think everyone's now just going to want 17 just for this one feature.
They are, but there is a very important line in here. So... there's 3 parts to it. So figure out which cliffs are in the radius of the cliff explosive, because the cliff explosive, where you drop it, will blow up the cliff to the left and the right of it, or the north and south of it. So it'll actually take out 3 cliffs with 1 explosives. So when selecting something to deconstruct, the code first goes through and says what is being deconstructed, then basically groups these in sets of 3 and puts a explosive in the middle of the 3, or an explosive icon in the middle of the 3. Sends the robot off to that position and basically pre-codes that those 3 bits of cliff are already gone, and then works its way onto the next cliff beside it. Shit. Yep, I just knocked something over. And rinse and repeat. Yep.
Yeah.
Which also means...
Which is interesting, because it means it uses cliff explosives more optimally than the mod. Potentially.
The mod just sends out cliff explosives. And when the spot marked doesn't have a cliff in it, when the bot gets there, it just brings it back to you. As in, yeah, I didn't spend this explosive. Have it back. Which is fine. It's not lazy. It's a less optimal way of coding. The catch is, and RCD mentions it in here, the extra work is free. However, the game is like they have the game isn't like they have a large number of robots actively bringing explosives to blow up a cliff, since as soon as the robots dispatch it quickly, finishes the job, and the cliff is permanently gone. Using this system in the game can track if a cliff is going to be blown up, even if it isn't yet marked for deconstruction. That way we don't get weird overlaps in robots flying out to cliffs that have been blown up shortly by another robot. After making this system, it made me think it could apply to some variant of it to robots building things. So a construction robot with that carry capacity upgrade could theoretically grab 3 inserters and build all 3 in quick series.
That is probably the most interesting.
That's the key part of this whole Friday Facts. Because if you put down a let's go with solar again, because we're on the topic of cliff explosive and solar. If you put down a solar grid that is 1,000 bits of panels, substations, roboports, accumulators, the whole works, you need potentially 1,000 bots to go dump that whole blueprint one solid mass.
Yes.
But if the robots can carry, because the logistics robots can carry 3 items at once, and technically it means the construction robots can carry 3 items at once, which only ever applies when they're basically deconstructing boxes and they can grab 3 bits of iron at once. But it means a robot could carry 3 solar panels. So rather than needing 1,000 robots, you'd only need 333 robots. Which, in the grand scheme of dumping down massive blueprints, means
it's
a lot.
Actually pretty huge. Saving on robots and energy. The cargo capacity also goes up to 4 before anyone complains.
It? Oh, yes, 3 upgrades.
Because it's plus, 1 and then 3 upgrades.
Yeah, there we go. See? This is why I've got a Mojo here to correct me when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the most important part of this whole Friday Facts. Like, cliff explosives are awesome, but arse eating, get on to the next one. This is the one we want. This is the one that like, even laying down railroad tracks, and you've done more than your fair share of laying down railroad tracks with
yes.
a Mark 1 roboport in a modular armor with a couple of solar panels where you're picking up the bots manually.
I don't like solar panels.
But it's not that hard. It's not that hard to get that robot carry capacity +1 and +2, and still not have decent power armor. Well, fusion reactors for your power armor. And if the bots could carry 2 items or 3 items, you're starting to get that point where you could probably not construct indefinitely, but you could definitely do a good amount of construction, because you'd only be using like half or 1/3 as many bots. Or you just be building faster and running through the same amount of, the power faster, but you get more distance out of it. Either or.
Be interesting to see, nonetheless.
It would be, and it'd be interesting to, like, we've both done mega bases. We've both done, whole massive blueprints where we literally run out without, this is my inventory, and dump, that's the blueprint. And then spend 10 minutes there with a fully stocked power armor with lots of roboports and nothing but fully charged batteries, and just watch the whole thing drain as it's emptied out of your inventory. Again, if the bots carry more, especially with personal robots, that's that much personal energy saved.
That's true.
Might not need fusion reactors that put out a reasonable amount of power. We could.
You'll still need it to do that, because the reason why you need to do that is because the fusion reactor doesn't put out anywhere near enough power to support
Mark II anything.
Yeah, or Mark 1.
Mark 1 50/50.
I think it was like 4-to-1, 4 reactors to 1 Mark 1 roboport from memory.
Really? That sounds like a lot. I've never tried to run a Mark 1 roboport flat out. I've always been like, no, let's add lots of batteries. Lots of batteries, charge them up, and just have to keep my construction based around, moving around and running to go get stuff, and then, it's charged again, we'll go dump down another blueprint. Anyway.
1 to 3. I just checked.
There we go, 1 to 3. See, 1 to 3 doesn't sound too bad. Actually, it still sounds horrible. And that's a Mark 1. A Mark 2 choose.
Yes, that's 10 bots. It technically doesn't. It's a bit more nuanced than that. But that's the sort of energy exchange rate.
A Mark 2 choose, what, twice as much? Or it's more than twice as much?
4 megawatts it needs.
Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, anyway. Rich and interactive text part 2 with... You pronounce this one.
You know what? I have some familiarity with the rich text and the interactive text. It's all pretty crappy. Out of all of this, there's one significant thing that I care about more than anything, and it's a carryover from the previous FFF.
Which
Have
one?
a look above the power armor and next to the pistolio.
There's
an empty spot.
The missing pickaxe.
Yes,
that was
that slot has been nuked.
Yeah, it's gone. It's just gone.
So there's no more mining tools. The whole thing's been obliterated.
Yep. So there you go. It's confirmed. It's gone. I look. No, I somewhat like this idea, but I have a feeling it's going to take some time to get used to.
Yeah, imagine your outposts are named like you know you name it Iron Outposts.
Iron 1, Iron 2.
Instead of saying Iron 1, Iron 2, you could say the Iron Ore icon and then 1. And then you could change the number to the color of iron ore. You could change it to blue.
Yeah, see, I don't care.
And that's how I feel about rich text. It's like, yeah, it's cute and all, but
it's sharing blueprints. That part I like, purely because like we do a new community map every month. Every single month, somebody asks for where are the Mojo train tracks, and my first dumb question is, why didn't you save them last month? Followed by, it's probably in the game blueprints. If not, have a look through my personal blueprints. And that's the thing. Everybody's got to then go look through somebody's personal blueprints. You're on Discord. You don't always know what the player name is compared to the Discord name to go get the blueprints. And just being able to shift click and go, here's the blueprint, done.
It's actually kind of confusing, particularly with the blueprint example that they give. Like, you got the whole blueprint library thing, and now they've got an extra layer on top of it with using the chat.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite make sense why that's a thing, even though you got the library.
Library, I sort of think of as my personal storage, and I was never happy that other people go digging through my personal blueprints.
I never understood that myself. Why the game synchronizes your personal library to the game, and it doesn't keep it.
Oh, dude, more question, but important. Why, when I take my personal copy and then I go join my own personal server, right, which, okay, it is hosted off-site, do I have to re-download my own blueprints that I had in my own local save 10 minutes ago?
There is that too, yes.
If I quit the multiplayer game and go back to a single-player game, I have my blueprints. Why do I, when I suddenly join a multiplayer game, have to download my... Yeah. I don't want to download my own blueprints. That they're mine.
It's the eternal struggle. Yeah, the game blueprints is very underutilized currently.
Oh, look, being able to click and show a blueprint, it'll have those occasional advantages, and I'll just leave it at that. Right? Putting out a map ping is where is iron? No. The question, Iron Outpost 5 is dead, always leads to where is Iron 5?
Oh yeah, that part's useful. It's just that I have some experience with map pings. Oh boy, is it irritating.
The players like me get on and work out how to rebind the keys, so then you can mass click and have like 10 commands show up. Same as I do with artillery shells, and like everybody else click, 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 and me, I'm like, no, paint! And suddenly 15 artillery shells lands like in a row. Map pings is something that's well overdue.
Admittedly, though, yeah, it is actually a good thing, being able to say where something goes. And admittedly, it does say that you have to open the console.
It does. Recipe tags is another one that who cares?
Yeah, I don't quite... Maybe from heavily modded games, your Bob's mods. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. I could understand.
Yeah, and maybe a little bit for the new player experience. Like, I can see a lot of these being for the campaign, essentially, for the new player experience.
Or scenario scripting.
Scenario scripting as well. Yeah, I can see really having some advantages in there, but...
Because I can see you could push that in using scenario scripts.
And same with armor tags. Again, like, Mojo, what's in your armor? Oh, 3 power, 3 power, 5 batteries, 2 roboports, a couple of legs, and night vision. Although it's normally, how much power do you have? What else do you have? Do you or don't you have night vision? And everything else is batteries, pretty much.
Yeah, this one I couldn't understand why it was really there. Like, no one cares, really.
Look, I've had lots of people ask me how my power armor's set up. I've seen people in Will's chat ask him how his power armor's set up.
Although he can just show it on screen.
He can show it on screen, and that I agree with. I don't know. It's like, because the rest of it's there. I understand why it's there. You know, it should be there to complete the feature set. But yeah, again, take it, leave it. I don't care.
It's just in my experience in multiplayer game in the public games that I used to play back in version 13 and 14. It never came up. These things.
You'd ask what's in somebody's armor, and they'd just tell you. They'd be like, you know, I've got 2 reactors, I've got 5 legs, I've got 3 roboports, and everything else is batteries with a night vision.
There's very few combinations you can actually make of power armor kits.
Look, everybody has 2, maybe 3 reactors. Everybody has 3 to 5 legs. Everybody has 1 to 3 roboports. There's very little variation, and the only time you get really varied ones is when you start getting specialized builds, because you're carrying 3 or 4 power armors. And, you know,
and you would have each power armor for each job.
Yeah, like I got a running set. It's got, you know, 1 fusion reactor and 10 batteries, and the rest is legs. It's just all legs. It's just legs and legs and legs. And when it runs flat, I put it on and I stand still for 20 minutes and just let it recharge. Why it doesn't recharge in my backpack, who knows? Let's just not go there. Can we get that fixed in 17, please? You know, I've got a building set which is 4 fusion reactors. I think it's 4 roboports, and the rest is batteries.
I do ask about it fairly frequently.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Throw a brick at Woob, and maybe that'll speed him up.
They're on IRCs now. Can you throw a brick through IRC?
Don't know. Don't know. Look, when 17 comes out, you can get in a chat and tell them with bricks in the interactive text, and they'll be able to click on the bricks and receive the recipe. That's the best I can get.
I do like that. You can receive a brick, and you receive a brick in person and in chat.
Yep.
I mean, you can even see it there. You can receive the other brick in chat.
You send me bricks in chat. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's it. There's not much in this one.
I didn't think there was much to it.
No, there isn't. We've probably spent too long going sideways and off on tangents and all sorts of things. But Cliff explosives are awesome, but they're already a mod. It's really that one sentence there.
Yeah, that's right.
Could it be coded so my construction robots can carry 1, 2, 3, or 4 items, depending on the research, so I use less robots to do the same job? And it also means Arsene's little GIF, when he deconstructed the whole lot, if the robots could carry multiple explosives, they would have all fanned out rather than 2 robots having to go out, destroy stuff, come all the way back and fly all the way back out again, which just ruined the whole GIF for me. Which
was the whole point of the topic.
Yep. So, we're going to leave it there. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I'm going to go back to my holiday, and Mojo's going to, I don't know, stream tomorrow?
Yep, and sleep.
And sleep.
In between.
Right. There we go. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.